Okay, so we're
to,
started here.
Okay.
And I'd just like to welcome everybody to another Friday. We're very glad that you have come. Today we have Stephanie Almeida with us, and she is from Ameritas, and she's going to be talking about standalone dental again. Dental, many of you haven't thought about standalone dental for a while, but you saw the dental benefits starting to erode last year. I'm anticipating that they're going to erode further this year. Most of you know that the Medicare Advantage carriers are in trouble this year. The Trump administration has announced that it's going to try to change things a little bit. We'll see how that affects, but that won't go into effect. The compensation rate to carriers won't go into effect, I understand. You guys can correct me, until the first of the year. So we have to pivot. We have to understand things a little bit better. And so we have Stephanie here to help us with that. We will be monitoring the chat feature. And I think, Stephanie, you'd like us, if we have questions, can we just jump in, or do you want us to wait till the end, or how do you want to handle questions?
No, this is fluid, whatever questions you have. And I've got my pen and paper if it's something that I can't answer. This isn't something that, I've sold. I have sold individual for years, not under the Ameritas plans, but this is going to be, I might have some follow-up that I'll need to do, and that's fine with me. I don't have a problem admitting I don't know everything. So, and maybe I can learn some stuff from you guys. So well, yes, please jump in.
I'm hoping that we talk both about the group voluntary stuff as well as the individual stuff, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Our agents are predisposed to look mostly at individual, but the Medicare world is changing, and we need to start looking more closely at the voluntary. So,
okay,
take it away.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, here we go. Here's our goals. Again, this deck can be sent to your individual reps. We'll definitely condense it so that we're not expecting them to go through 23 slides with their potential clients or their current clients. So product simplicity, ease of enrollment, member value, product and network confidence. This is huge. Industry knowledge. We're not expecting them to be dental experts. You just need a dental expert to answer your questions. There is an IDP inbox. They certainly can reach out to me, but here's basically what we're wanting to achieve. Who are we? Ameritas, and we've been around 100 years, dental since 1959. So we know what we're doing. We get a lot of questions. Are you going to do life? We do dental and vision very well, and that's what we're going to stick to. We're going to stick to what we do best. The network, certainly a network that is vast. I think we're top third in the nation. We're number one in Utah. And that's big considering that Ameritas bought Dental Select 5 years ago. And, it was like I call it like the Ameritas hurricane came in and just, we're rebuilding, but we're moving forward that individual plans are the Ameritas network. So those of you that sold the Dental Select IDP plans, thank you so much. But now we're moving on to bigger and better things. There we are, product ratings, ranked best dental insurance by Forbes advisors. So that was big. We've got a large call center. Again, if your members have questions, I don't know if they're reaching out to your individual brokers, but we want to move that service from them and put that with the experts, and that's the call centers. And we'll make sure that they've got that information. What does the dental entail? Next day coverage, no waiting periods. That's an asterisk. I'm not waiting periods on major services in Ohio, Virginia, and Washington. So there are some caveats because we've got some states that are weird. They've got funny rules. So that's not across the board. But if any of your agents cover those states, we'll make sure that they know what they can and can't do. Credit for prior dental coverage. If people are coming off an employer plan, then it's likely they can have more than a 60-day, I think, grace or like lapse of coverage. And I like this. Rates are based on zip code, not age or gender. That's not how we did individual plans at Dental Select. So this is big. Additional benefits: teeth whitening, orthodontia, and hearing care. So there's some added benefits.
So rates are based on zip code. So if you are 75 years old living in a zip code, and if you are 25 years old living in a zip code, you have the same rate. That's what you're saying.
That's what it says. And I'm going to put that to the test. Kevin and I are going to do some quoting together and see how that works.
Okay.
Because the coverage is going to be, in California, the dental, what you're going to pay for a crown and any type of work, that's going to be higher. So there is a lot higher areas than if you were, say, in Utah.
Yeah.
So if somebody has a dual residency, I would definitely pick the lower of the two. But that quoting feature, and Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, you and Amy are going to be doing the quoting.
Yeah, so if it's anything other than individual, then please contact myself or Amy, and then we'll do what we've been talking about for a while. You guys have a group, you want anything that's going to be more group based, then Amy and myself will take care of that. But anything, individual, then that's going to be a different story. Okay,
so there is a way to quote that on the producer portal. So that's what I'm sorry, I misunderstood from our meeting last. If the agents are selling individual plans, they're going to be responsible for that, which is very minimal data needed to quote that on the producer portal. So they're going to be taking care of those quotes, correct?
Yeah, with our help. So what we would like to do is we're going to run through that today. We're going to kind of give them an overview of how to do that, is my understanding. And then we'll help them along the way until they're comfortable doing the individual.
Okay.
By the way, everybody, this is Kevin Miles. Kevin Miles is a really valuable member of the Stonehill team, and Amy that he's talking about, they are on the group side, so you may not know them as well. So this is for some of you, this is maybe your first introduction to Kevin, but he's really a knowledgeable, helpful guy. So thanks. Sorry, Stephanie.
No,
okay.
Thanks, Dad.
YSL Dental and Vision. They're finding that with studies that most of the health problems that we're having are starting in the mouth. So gum disease is a huge one, tooth decay, and we're finding that, as the older you get, maybe you're seeing more of these problems. My parents are on Medicare. They don't have dental insurance. And my mom's 72. She just turned 78. And she said, Steph, I need to get a dental plan. And I thought that is so sad for them to realize this, late in the game. Anyway, so dental and vision, yes, super important. I'm not familiar with the Medicare plans enough to know, is vision covered, Doug?
Yeah, so they've had
just their vision exam.
Yeah, they've had dental, vision, and hearing covered by the Medicare Advantage plans.
Okay.
The Biden administration changed things really last year.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, until legislation gets passed, then we'll go with this. But if that isn't covered on their current plan, then we have those three: dental, vision, and hearing. We have those three plans available. Dental plan availability. So the map looks good. Again, there's some states that have some funky rules, but the system, you don't need to know what those are. But if there are states that you primarily sell in, then we'll make sure that you know what those are. But the system's not going to quote a plan that's not available in that state.
So what's CPC?
It's the prior plan coverage. So if you had coverage before, that's what CPC is.
Okay.
And I've got that on. And it's a good question. I've got that on the slide. Here we go. So when you're going from one group plan or individual plan to another, can't be more than two months gap in coverage, must be for at least 12 months, and that prior coverage information must be provided. So if they're coming off another plan, then that's going to be super helpful so that we can get waiting periods removed if we need to. But it's not available. New Mexico, that's not a surprise. New York and Washington. Washington's got some really strict rules with vision as well. And there is a flyer for that, so we can share that.
Are these, Steph, are these group or voluntary?
This is voluntary. This is the individual plan. So we're on the individual right now.
I'm sorry, individual. Okay.
Individual. I mean, when it comes to group, we have, when we're quoting it, we can quote it with and without waiting periods if they've had prior coverage, but we don't ask for proof. We just ask for name and policy ID. So very similar.
Credit for prior coverage on an individual plan is very unique. I didn't think that existed. That's really cool to know.
Well, and if they're coming off, that's a really great point. If they're coming off a group plan, then that's really helpful. And there'll be a way for you to quote that in the broker quoting tool, whether they've had prior coverage or they haven't. So you could see maybe their lapse in coverage has been, 3 months instead of 2 months. Then, you want to see the rate impact and what that does with their waiting periods. Because someone may not have known which plan to go on and have a larger lapse in coverage.
Yeah, I've never seen this before, so this is very interesting.
Good. We like to be different, but this is great for them, especially if they've had waiting periods before. We want to make sure that they don't have waiting periods moving forward.
Hey,
Okay,
Stephanie, sorry to interrupt you here. There's a question from Gene in the chat box. He's saying rates are based on zip code. Does that prevent someone from, for an example, from somebody from Price, Utah going to Salt Lake for service?
No, I don't know that it would be much difference from Price to Salt Lake. You mean as far as like seeing a dentist?
Yeah, I think that's what he means.
Yeah. So I, if I live in Vegas and I do go to the dentist in Utah, that could sway that rate a little bit, being in two different states. I don't know that that's going to make. I don't think it would make much difference because we have the #1 network in Utah, whether it's in Price, whether it's in Salt Lake. We have the rural and the metro schedules for, like, say, our copay plan, but that is so minimal that could be like a 10-cent difference. I mean, it's going to be so minimal they wouldn't know. But if I'm in another state I live in California, but I go to the dentist in Utah, that could make a huge difference. But what I would pay in Utah going to the dentist is going to be lower, but my premium is going to be higher living in California.
Yeah.
The premium is based on your resident state, not where you go see the dentist, obviously.
That's
or
correct.
Resident zip code, rather. Yeah.
Right. Or you find a cousin to live with for a little while. So
right.
Or if you've got dual residency. So these plans, I definitely don't want to go through the 180-50, but we'll make sure that your team has the 3 different plan designs. And again, making sure that they have a deck that they could pull up very quickly and go over some key points. What do the plans look like? The slide about, prior coverage, things like that. So we've got the light plan, and you can see just the basics. Dental plan maximum, these are a lot lower than the day one. Day one is a lot lower than, year 2. So you can see that doubles. Preventative is included. I don't know if any of you have paid for any type of preventative coverage, but it makes you grumpy. You don't want to go in and pay something when you get your teeth cleaned. We want them to go get their teeth cleaned. And with that, I think it deters people if there's some kind of copay or some kind of, a 20% on that out of pocket on a preventative visit. So we really want to push them to do that. So no deductible on type 1. So that means preventative is type 1. But they will have that deductible per person on type 2 and type 3. You can see just real basics on what that entails. So basic plans, you don't have to be the dental expert, but it's good to know kind of what each of these 3 plans cover. And out of network, you're seeing that 100% for preventative in network, and then 70% out of network. If they're really, they really want to go to that out of network provider, then they're going to have more cost out of pocket, just like with their health providers. The next one is our boost plan. So this is definitely going to be a higher premium for families who want robust coverage, including benefits for teeth whitening and child orthodontia. So this might be for someone that's on Medicare, if you've got, younger kids or kids up to age 26. So you've got a more robust plan on the boost, and then the complete dental plan. So you can see that maximum you're getting in these, you're getting older, you're getting more like implants and dentures and things like that. So you're wanting to have that higher maximum. Again, we'll make sure that you've got these plan designs so you can really take a look at those and see, and maybe do some digging in the producer portal to see kind of what that premium would look like between the three plans. This one has the hearing aid benefit per year. I mean, I don't have any experience with hearing aids yet in my younger year, in my 50 years of age, but I know that with the hearing benefit, it's so expensive that the hearing aid itself or the batteries. So this hearing aid benefit is awesome. Okay, we'll keep going until someone stops. I can't see the chat, so feel free to stop me if we need to.
Oh, I've been looking so hard at your that I've not been looking at the chat. There's quite a bit of stuff going on.
Okay.
Hey, Stephanie, I could ask this one. This is from Jean. Does it coordinate with other coverage?
So you can have, I don't know that for sure. I know on the group plans we do. So that's a great question. Does it coordinate with other benefits? Okay. And that was from Jean?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can get these answers back to you, Doug.
Yes.
And then you can distribute to the team because someone else might have that same question. So coordinate with other coverage.
Yeah, I'd like to know that as well.
Okay. We'll get that out to the team. Okay. What's next?
So Dory asks, will Stonehill quote, or will we have access to the quoting portal? So I think that
on a group basis, it really depends on how deep you want to get into the weeds. So can we involve you in that in the quoting process and stuff? We definitely can, but for the most part, it's just such a specialized. I guess I don't want to say a specialized system, but we know how it works. We get the census, we turn it in, and the quote spits it back out. So if you really want to be in that process, we can definitely include you. But in general, just get us the information, and we'll send you back the quote.
But on an individual, you'll be able to go into the producer
yourself.
portal and quote that. So group stuff is going to go through Kevin and Amy. Individual, you'll be able to quote that on the producer portal.
Correct.
And there's a flyer that I've got with instructions on how to do that. And we can have another training recorded as well on, okay, this is where you go. That won't be today, but want to make sure that we at least get the basics out to your team.
very cool.
And get them excited. Doug, any other questions for me?
Oh, no, that's
Okay.
it.
Member costs with provider or with network providers. So we definitely want to push that in network. Seeing an in-network provider. There is a provider search on our website. Very easy. You can search by zip code. You can narrow that down by the provider's name. So they will be able to look up, or they might ask you, hey, can you look to see if my dentist is in network? So if you have any trouble with that, you can reach out to me, but it's very easy to find on the portal. So
Well,
this might be a good slide, Doug, for your to include in like your
Yeah, this is a really great slide.
your agent deck, so that they can, I think this slide, we could just have this slide alone to show what happens if you don't have coverage.
Wow. That is amazing.
Okay. Any questions about the dental? Because the next slide is vision, and I don't want to move too fast.
Hey, good morning. This is Xiaoru. 就是the group benefit, if the employee lost their group benefit, then within the 2 months they can sign up the individual dental plan. Does it cover the implant also? If they choose the second plan or third plan, you mentioned, yeah, the Prime Star Complete or the other one. Does it cover that and pass the transition to year 2?
So you've got, you don't have that on the light plan, but you do have the implant coverage on the boost plan, as well as the complete plan. You've got implants. But again, the maximum is what's going to be the problem, because the cost of implants, they may be hitting their maximum with just one implant. So they have to keep that in mind. Sometimes when we're at open enrollments, I don't know if any of your group agents can attest to this, but they'll say like, wow, my plan doesn't pay anything. Well, you had a maximum, but at least the maximums are a lot higher on these 2 plans, but you're reaching that maximum very quickly with something like an implant. But yes, there's implant coverage on both the complete plan and the boost plan.
Okay, so they can get a 50% coverage on the implant or major from
Right.
like once they applied for. Okay, great. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. So again, we want them to go to an in-network dentist, and they're going to get that 20% discount as well for going in-network. But with say the bill's $2,000, then it's going to be 50% of that is what the insurance is going to pay. And the implants, they're having several visits, but we'll pay that up to, like on the complete plan, up to that $2,500. And then maybe they can finish the implant, or if they have another one, year 2. So
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So could you please show that slide again about the without the dental insurance, how much the cost?
As far as this one,
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, thanks. Okay, got it.
Okay. We have a vision plan. We've got both IMED and VSP. This is exciting. Before we didn't, under Dental Select, we didn't have an individual vision plan. So the fact that we do is awesome. The vision's very cost effective. So on the IMED, you've got a lot of retail shops, optical, or the Target is one that I really liked, Lens Crafters. If they are savvy and they want to go online, glasses.com or Contacts Direct. You want to look at the frequencies on this one. On the IMED is the 12, 24, 24. Like on a group plan, you can get a 12, 12, 12. If their eye exams with the medical carrier, they can definitely use this for their materials if they don't need an eye exam. But if they do, then it's that $25. And then we go down from the list of things that it covers. Frames up to 130. We want to be in network again, because that makes such a huge difference of, your frames are $130 benefit, but out of network 70. So, and there's more than this. This is just like some big names on the IMED. And then let's see what VSP. The VSP is good. I mean, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, even on the group plans, because you've got the Costco, the Walmarts, the Sam's Club. And this one is a little bit higher benefit. So this one's going to be a little bit more in premium. And you've got better frequencies, 12, 12, 12, $10 eye exam. And then your frames is up to 150. So this is definitely going to be a higher premium, but I would guess with the group plans, you're looking at a couple dollars. You're not looking at, it's not going to be double. But this will be interesting once you get in there and start quoting to see quote yourself, see what it would be for you and your spouse, or your spouse and your family.
So what's the relationship between Ameritas and IMED and VSP? Are these subsidiaries or what?
Oh no, they're partners. So
Okay.
the dental, we in some areas we own our own networks, but majority, I would say all carriers, your Deltas, your MetLifes, we all lease similar networks, but we have a stronger network than both of those, Delta
Okay.
and MetLife. The Vision, these are Vision carriers that we basically they're business partners. The bill is not going to come through VSP, it's going to come through us or IMED. So the billing's all going to be done through us. The cards will say VSP and IMED. And then if you have questions, you would go direct to VSP or IMED. You wouldn't go to Ameritas. The dental, you would.
Okay.
So this is the insurance. Yes, they're our partner. But the dental is, whether it's a lease network on the dental, that all goes through us.
Okay.
Okay.
That clarifies it. Thank you.
Okay, so this is another good one.
So by the way, Bob asked, any cataract surgery benefit?
Oh, that's a good one. That I don't know on the cataracts, but on the vision, let me write that down.
Cataracts are normally covered under the medical plan because it's a
I would-
That's the way I
it's
would
not a
look
vision
at it
plan.
too. So
I think so too.
That's correct. The cataract, it's considered medically necessary, so your
Okay.
medical would kick in.
The problem with the cataract surgery is most MAPD plans only cover the very basic standard lenses. And most surgeons now are suggesting they go with a intraocular multi-focus lens. That's kind of the standard right now, that the old base standard lens is all that MAPD will cover. But surgeons are not suggesting that anymore.
That's a good point. What's the price differential? Do you know?
Huge. On a regular MAPD plan, the copay for the beneficiary is just a surgical, which is like Select Health is $275 if it's ambulatory, $350 it's in hospital. But let's say they want the multifocal lens, you're talking the MAPD doesn't cover any of that. You're looking at $3,500 per eye.
Goodness, wow.
Ouch! Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. And that's what most doctors are suggesting now. It's a multifocal lens.
Wow, I would definitely, I can check. Kevin, you answered that question, but it's under the medical. These are such low premium plans that I'm guessing that it's not going to be anything extensive as far as cataract coverage. Any questions about maybe the IMED or the VSP plans?
just there's another question in the chat. Just let me read it. Would MAPD, would a Medicare Advantage plan that had dental coverage count as the dental credit for prior coverage?
That's an excellent question. I do not know. It doesn't specify that it's an exclusion, but I can find out if the Advantage.
I would imagine it would.
I mean, it says dental coverage, so
Yeah,
it
that would
didn't
be my guess
exclude.
too, is they should count it, but let Stephanie ask her higher ups just to verify. But in my experience, that they should count it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not excluding it, but I'll double check on that. I would say yes, but let me follow up.
Okay.
That's a really great question.
Okay.
Okay, we've got some great vision options. Both IMED, the VSP is going to be the more robust plan. Opportunities to sell. I mean, you have the clients already, so selling the dental or the vision is just going to be that much easier. we can include this on your deck. Some good stuff.
64.4% do not offer health benefits. Wow.
And the
would
health
question that
benefits, they may
statistic.
be saying that may be referring to health benefits. I don't know where that 3 goes, but a lot of them are offering medical, but they're not offering the dental. So that's
Yeah,
where they're going in and trying. So I'm wondering if that health benefits is including health. Ameritas, like on their website, it will say try to find a health provider, but that is really meaning dental or vision. So I'm wondering if that little caveat is if they mean medical. But
okay, that makes sense.
I mean, depending on the size of group, they don't have to, like they're not mandated, or they may just be offering medical and not dental and vision.
Okay.
But the dental is the most utilized ancillary product that we have to date, like more utilized than any of the other benefits. So, and I feel like people just like they need their dentist, and they're more picky about their dentist than maybe their health care provider. But
Really?
they get funny. What do you mean my dentist is a network? They get really upset. But maybe as you get older, you like your dentist and you like your healthcare provider. So don't quote me on that one. Okay, so maybe this is where I learned a lot about Medicare Advantage. It's not something that I have any experience in, but very interesting. This is the great side. What does standalone dental do versus what the Medicare Advantage? If anybody has any, like if this is wrong, you just let me know. I'll go back to corporate, let them know they need to make an adjustment on my slide deck. Oh, it says don't coordinate benefits. I don't think that has anything to do with the CPC. Any questions on this one?
Still interpreting, so. Oh, yeah. That last one on Medicare Advantage, yeah, you can change your carrier every year. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's no continuity there. Okay, I'm done with that slide.
Okay. Good stuff. Okay, so your producer portal. So we're not doing the training today, but I've got this beautiful flyer on what does that look like? Where do you go? You go to the producer portal at ameritas.com. You'll be able to see all of your clients, download commission statements, order ID cards. Like this is just on that first or second slide, it said, make enrollment easy, make quoting easy, make enrollment easy, and then for you to manage your clients. And you can do that all from the producer portal. Also on that website, quick links to help find a provider, because that's going to come up as my provider in network. So that's something that you'll be able to do that from that Ameritas link. Marketing site. We don't expect you to create all the marketing materials. If there's something specific to Stonehill, I can work with Amy and Kevin on that or a specific branding. But there is a marketing site that has some helpful training videos and things like that to go through, anything that you need on this website. Just another thing for you guys to learn. But if we can make it easy for you, then signing up your current clients should be simple.
Okay.
Sales Connect. Who can you call? If you call me, I might have to call someone else. But we've got customer service agents that will be able to answer your questions. We've got an online chat, also a web address for the individual plans, and we'll make sure that you've got this slide, Doug. It's got the English, Spanish, and then online chat.
So we have a site that's called MedicarePlanDetails.com. And it is behind a login, but everybody, I believe, knows that the login is Advantage. And we're going to put all of this stuff out there so they can go look at this and download whatever they want.
Okay.
When do they contact you versus when do they contact customer support?
Well, my main role is more for group plans. The individual, they've got an entire team for that. So because I have a strong relationship and a partnership with Stonehill, that's where I come in to make sure that your team has the tools that they need to get the answers that they need. So emailing me on an individual plan is probably, I'm going to have to forward it to the individual plan team, that salesconnect@ameritas.com. We've got individual, I think it's, I'll make sure that you've got the email address, but Ameritas is great. They've got departments for everything. It was a little bit harder with Dental Select, a little harder and easier because you would just go back to the sales rep. A lot of your reps have worked with me in the past. With the individual, that's a little bit different. They have an entire team for that.
Okay.
So for me, I mean, they could reach out to Kevin. Kevin could reach out to me, or they could reach out to me directly. But if it's individual, you know, hey, this person's not showing up on my commission statement, that I'll need to direct that to the right team. But if your team has the correct email addresses and hey, where do I go? And you can put that on your site, I think that will streamline the questions.
Okay. And we're going to encourage everybody to reach out to us as the first step. So
Okay, unless you're Tim. I call Tim my uncle, so he can call me directly.
oh, okay. Tim did say that he's worked with you both with group and individual in the chat.
Yeah.
And that he thinks you're awesome. It seems like those are his words.
Well, thank you. I call him Uncle Tim, so he gets the. Well, your team. I mean, if they couldn't get the help that they needed, Doug, I mean, absolutely reach out to me. But for what I know personally with any of the individual questions, I'm forwarding those on, and things have gone great. I'm glad that I don't have to sell Ameritas, so to speak. Like it's been in the market for a long time, but I think just moving the mindset over, especially with how things are going with the Ameritas, or I'm sorry, the Medicare Advantage plans, that we kind of look more to Ameritas for those individual plans.
Okay. So by the way, Morgan, I don't know if you guys can see the chats, but Morgan has put the place where these resources are going to be for you. And she's done she's done StonehillMedicare.com. It goes to the same place, I believe. And the password is Advantage with an uppercase A. So
yeah, once you go into StonehillMedicare.com, you just scroll down a tiny bit, and there are 3 things to choose from. There's the Medicare plan details, the training calendar, and then the YouTube channel. So all of those resources are available to you.
okay, thank you, Morgan.
Hey, Stephanie,
Sure.
do you know how licensing works as you cross state borders? Do you need to get licensed in each state? Do you know?
I believe I think it's the same for individual and the group, where you have to be licensed in whatever state you're selling in. But I believe that's the same. You know, that's a really great question. Licensing. I would assume it's the same for individual. Tim, do you know? Are you selling in any other state but Utah?
I do a couple, and that's my experience. It's like health coverage. You got to be licensed in that state,
Yep.
wherever you're selling. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
my
the same.
experience.
Okay. Yeah, that's the same.
By the way, Uncle Tim does say in the chats, if you can see it, that Ameritas Concierge for individual plans, the team is always helpful and quick to respond. So
Okay. That's good. It's good to know. I just send stuff. If someone sends it to me, I just send it to their team, and then they reach out to them directly. So it's been great because nothing's come back to me so far saying, hey, they don't answer my emails. I mean, you're working with humans. So, I mean, if something got missed, but Kevin, did you have something?
Yeah, I just wanted the whole team to know and realize that there's a reason that we bring in partners like Ameritas and Stephanie. You know, most of us here on the call today has dealt with only individual only, you know, with your Medicare sales. But we also thought that it would be a great idea to also offer the group, if the group benefits come available, that we're available. But most of you are so used to using one-on-one and individual that it just makes sense to add this individual tool for everyone who represents yourself or Stonehill or whoever. And so it's just another tool that you guys can add. And we're here to help, right? We want everybody to feel comfortable. We want everyone to know that they've got a back office. If we don't have the answer immediately, we can definitely find it and let you know. So we just want to make sure that there's reasons that we bring in important partners like Stephanie with Ameritas. They're proven, they have great networks, their claims history is excellent, billing is easy to understand. And so there's reasons that we bring in partners. We don't just go out there without vetting different carriers. So we just want you to realize that when we bring people in like this, it's for a reason.
Thanks, Kevin.
Well, I appreciate that. This is probably my favorite slide. Additional features. Okay, what makes Ameritas different? Kevin mentioned the partnership. We were hand selected by Stonehill to work with you, and I really appreciate that. I know that we've done business in the past. We've done a lot of business with Dental Select, and I'd love to see me get back to the glory days of selling lots and lots of dental. I sold a lot of individual plans. It was just easy. So I love this slide. It gives you an idea of, okay, what makes us different? What's great about Ameritas? So here's some additional features that you can discuss that payment information over the phone. I love that. No coordination of benefits. Kevin, you mentioned claims. We're paying claims 15 days or less. So I think that's important. We want to get those payments to the dentist so that they don't, decide that we're a tough partner to work with and then they kick us off their network. Now, there are some providers that don't accept any insurance, and then we make sure that we're pacing those clients on a higher out-of-network plan or the best plan. Of course, they're going to pay for that, and that's up to them. Prescription and hearing care savings plans, I'll make sure that you've got more information on that. I think that would be a really great thing, especially if it's just an additional benefit for the plan. Secure member accounts. I don't know how many of your clients are tech savvy, if they like to go online, or they might be calling you for a card. You'll be able to call customer care for that or log in to the portal. But I want to make sure that you've got access to that information very quickly. You can also chat feature, multilingual support, which I love that they're expanding. Definitely think they could do more. Get automatic credit for sales with your shopping URL. This is great. It's a bit hyperlinked that if you have your own personal site or if you've got your email, your signature line, that you can add that in where your clients could click on that and sign up, and then you're getting credit for that. So we can, we'll make sure that you've got more information on that, how to get that hyperlink. Create a QR code so that if you've got printed materials, if you do mailers, if you do email mailers, that you'll have something that they can quickly access, and then also share on your social media if you're big into Twitter.
So Stephanie, going back just one slide there, if we can, the producer portal if we can't find our welcome email, do we go back to producerportal.ameritas.com and find that?
Yeah.
Or where do we find that?
So with you guys, that's a really good point. That welcome email, I need to find out if that's going to each individual producer or if that's just going to Kevin and Amy. So
I've been licensed for years with you, so finding that's going to be impossible. But
no, I get that. So I'll find out what for the agents that are already appointed. Kevin, you got to write this down for me too. For those that you have already been working with, Stonehill and Ameritas, if you'll be able to just go right into the producer portal and start quoting. So I'll find out more information on current agents and then our newer agents that haven't worked with Ameritas that need to be appointed. So new agents is what I'm writing down, and then existing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And then I love the hyperlink. We have this at Dental Select where you could just copy that URL and just blast it to your clients. With it, Medicare Advantage plans, are you working with your like all of your clients individually, like signing them up? It's my understanding, and that's very hands-on. But if
Yeah,
we
that's
could,
what ours
if
is
we could
too.
make this easy where there are some hands-on clients and then some clients where you could just send this link and they could sign up themselves, I think that would be, I mean, that's just helping you. I use my hyperlink often. Okay, Tim, you are show off. Tim uses his hyperlink all the time, so it's working. I love that. Thank you so much. So quick quote. What is it going to take to quote? No personal information requested. 3 questions. Based on location, not age or gender. Primary member must be 18. Add dependents to any plan, no problem. Immediate benefits for all services in most states. Again, we've got those caveats of some of those funny states. Next day benefits. So this is great. This is how do they get coverage very quickly? We want them to get in and get their preventative done. Enrollment's completed all online. We do not ask for a social to enroll. And I know that's, I know I've been picking on Tim, but Tim, that's different from the marketplace, because I understand the marketplace is a little bit more, it's a little bit more in depth to sign someone up. Is that right? So why would you do our site versus like marketplace?
Oh, absolutely. The marketplace, that for, again, it's just an add-on. They're really primarily for health insurance. It's kind of an Obamacare requirement. When you go to the directly though through the dental, you're going to get much better information, coverage, rates, the whole 9 yards. I never have anybody use the marketplace for dental.
Okay. Ameritas is on the marketplace, but what I've heard across the market is that it's difficult. You have to get in, you have to get out. The producer portal is going to alleviate all of that. So the fact that we don't need socials to sign someone up to enroll, they can do EFT or credit card. Like this is just easy. Is Medicare Advantage this easy?
Steph, I do most everything through the portal, the agent portal, for both
Okay.
individual and for small group. Yeah. And
Okay.
my hyperlink, it works.
Okay. I love it. Well, if anybody has any questions about the hyperlink, we'll make sure that you've got the information. If you can't get it to work, we'll get you over to a team member that can help you with that. We've got some good marketing, the Ameritas Handbook, the Ameritas Prime Star Product Handbook. Those hyperlinks will take you right to that. Print those off, save a soft copy, and that's me. That's a couple years ago. So
That's
Not
before the
really.
work that you just
yeah,
had.
that's not what I look like, but anyway, it's the picture that they have. It's not AI, Doug. Okay,
Yeah.
any questions about how you get started? I would love to see us sell a ton of individual plans. Maybe we do like a sales contest to see who can sell the most in a certain amount of time. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out, Kevin, to do a little contest.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. And mainly we want this to be useful, right? We have these meetings and our hope is that you guys will utilize the information. Or if you don't think it's very useful, we want that feedback as well. We want you to get with me or Doug and let us know, hey, how can we improve? This was helpful, this wasn't. You guys hold these meetings every Friday and I'm not on them very often, but when I am on them on Fridays, there's always at least 15, 20 people on here. So we know we're at least reaching out, we're getting information to you, and we just want to be able to be useful and give you the proper tools to help you be successful. That's our main goal.
And for me, I'm just going to jump in here. I believe that individually oriented Medicare agents need to start considering seriously about the fact that individual leads are drying up, direct mail's drying up. The opportunity in the future is going to be if you can establish a relationship with an HR department or something like that. So these group plans, these things that are involved with Stephanie and with Kevin and with Amy, we are here to help you make that transition. We know it's a very hard transition to go from individual sales to business sales, but I think that it's going to have to be done. Stephanie, thank you very much for being here today.
Well, I
Stephanie,
have one.
we had
Oh,
a
go ahead.
question if somebody could, if they could have a copy of your PowerPoint, would that be possible? One of
Yes,
the
we're
agents?
definitely going to get you a condensed deck because that is, I don't know if anybody fell asleep, but that was a lot of information. And if I'm invited back, we definitely want to do something like it's more condensed, but we'll get you a deck that you can keep for your own. One thing I wanted to mention, Doug, that I was at a conference and a particular company said, it was for their own company. Anyway, that HRs, they don't know what to do with people when they retire. They don't know Medicare. You're the expert. Most HR people, I went through HR training, like we don't know what to do. So with that group option is be the Medicare Advantage rep and so you could take the employees. Okay, what am I trying to say? Instead of trying to sell plans to like your typical group, you can be the expert on any of their retirees. That's how I heard them say, like, we want to target groups that don't know what to do with their employees that are retiring. How do they get on Medicare? Or their members or their employees they're not retiring, but they're getting to the age of being Medicare eligible.
Yeah.
So
And
if you have contacts with groups, that's what I would try to. That's I think an advantage that you have, because you know that world and they don't, and then you can help them with their members that are retiring or they're Medicare eligible. Is what
So
I don't know. We're working with Kevin. We talked about this in our last meeting, and I think it's brilliant that you don't have to go in and be a group rep, but you could target certain groups to help them with, this part of their job that they didn't know anything about.
Yeah, so the certain groups that they can target. So for you guys, most of these groups that you can target are not being targeted, and that's small business. There's no systematic way that people can get into small business. So if you have friends, if you know acquaintances in the community who have small businesses, talk to them about voluntary benefits, talk to them about these things. You don't need to threaten their relationship with their group producing agent. The group producing agent is probably not offering group dental, group vision,
Or anything, or a plan that to help them with anyone that's going on Medicare. They don't know what to do with those people.
Exactly. And so that's the opportunity, is if we can persuade you guys to, and it's a cliche, to get out of your comfort zone and talk to people about some of these voluntary benefits on a group chassis for seniors. We think that's the future. So, okay.
Well, we'll work on that. That came up at our last meeting with Kevin and Amy about they might already have a broker that's in there and they already have voluntary benefits, medical, dental, vision, but they don't know what to do with their employees that are becoming Medicare eligible, or if they're retiring, they don't know what to do with those people. And so targeting that will get your foot in the door for other things. But if they already have a broker, it's likely that they're not talking to them about, hey, what happens if someone's eligible for Medicare? What are you doing with your retirees? You just kind of like, you throw them a party, Doug, you give them, have some donuts, and then they don't know what to do with their insurance. So giving them, you're the expert, and giving them, looking at this as more of like being a consultant to them. Hey, what do you normally do with your employees that are Medicare eligible or retiring? What do you do with those people? Where do you send them? Okay, here's my information. Now they have a contact. So,
okay. Well, thank you very much. We're at the top of the hour.
You.
So I'm going to stop.
Doug, this is Sharu. Can I just have one more question? So about the Ameritas Dental, I've been just written some clients, but I noticed that the premiums going up. So do you know what's the reason?
Yeah, I mean, everyone talks about inflation, but it's a real thing and it's hitting many industries. Dental is one of them. The providers are charging more, things cost more to make services, but we try to we're here to make money. Like we're not philanthropists, but want to make sure that that cost is like, how much we're controlling how much is passed on to the member. We're not always raising our fees. We look at our fees that we contract with the dentists. We need to make sure that we're keeping up on trend so that, they're not dumping us in the network. So we kind of we've got to satisfy shareholders, but we also want to keep our members happy and not forward the cost to them as much as we can. And then work with the providers to make sure that the fee schedules are where they need to be. Trend is about 4.5%, which is not, it hasn't doubled. It's been consistently around, 4% for a long time. When some of my brokers, Tim, has called for, rate relief, we've been able to help them. But on the individual plans, we're trying to keep that from all the costs going to the member. But inflation is definitely hitting the dental industry.
So
If I can offer on that too, is health and dental both. This
Right.
last year or two have been a bear. I've been seeing like 8 and 10% increases on health. So 4.5 on dental is reasonable these days. And one other thing I wanted to offer too briefly, if any of you look up or know where Kanab is, we have 3 dentists here, right? Right, and that's for the whole county, and a couple come in from other, like St. George or whatever. But Ameritas is one of the few, very few, that all the dentists will widely accept. That's a big deal for me. So that's important. They're very widely accepted and very reputable. So, and no, this is not a paid endorsement.
thank you,
Thanks.
Tim. So the premium increase is based on the region, the zip code. It's not based on like the person's age, right?
I don't know how they calculate that specifically with individual. It does, where the premiums are based on where members live, because things cost more in California than they do Utah. So the cost of living, I'm sure that plays a part, but that's all actuarial and underwritings. That's what they do best. However, we are going to see increases. We're going to see the premium increases go up. Again, it's dental dollars. It's not medical. Tim mentioned that, delivering some hefty medical renewals that are costing, groups hundreds of thousands of dollars. Members are seeing it. We had a medical increase this year with Ameritas, but the dental is going to be, you have to remember that it gets dental dollars. Like, are we seeing a dollar increase? Are we seeing $1.50? Like, it's going to be very minimal. When you hear the percentage, it sounds really high, but we're talking about dental dollars. But again, nobody wants to see inflation. Nobody wants to deliver that news. But the dental is not going to be as high as, say, like a medical increase. You're not going to see that jump.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, nobody likes to deliver increases, not even me, but they're gradual. I mean, if a member hits their premium or their maximum every single year, is their premium going to go up? That's a great possibility. It's insurance. That's why, I mean, this is keeps job security, doesn't it?
This maybe is not in your area. So have you ever heard about the Best One Dental?
Best One?
Uh-huh.
I haven't.
Sounds like the Best One Dental is in Idaho, actually is in the marketplace. Is it right?
Nice.
No idea.
So Tim, have you heard about that? I guess
There's a company called Best Life that but
That's
I don't
one.
know.
That's not one that I've worked with.
Yeah, I haven't worked with them, but they keep reaching out. So
My experience with that, if it helps, is a lot of times those are discount plans. You don't get near the value, and you have a hard time finding somebody that will accept it.